then throw up our next big question and the result as well. Dr. Ajay Dua, what do you make of 72% people actually saying that they have not been the target of a digital scam or don't know anyone personally who has, despite this now slowly growing? Just 26% people believe, saying that they have been the target of a digital scam themselves or a close family member.
I'm not surprised. The digital scams, to my knowledge and understanding of the issue, are focused on certain people who one would say fall in the category of being affluent. There is no point if in your survey you have taken a man in the street who doesn't have a bank balance or doesn't have, it's not so-called worth the effort of the scamster who would want to get into it. So there is certainly abundantly taking place of such scams. So even the Prime Minister in his Man Ki Baat program had referred to it. It is confined to a certain set of people, not everybody. It could be the mobile phone. So the 71% saying no, or 72% and 28% saying yes, could partly be explained for the stratification of the survey. Having said that, I think the technology, particularly technology in field of communications, must, as the inventions are taking place, innovations are occurring, it must also warn the ones who are marketing these technologies about their limitations and the possible misuse of it. That is then an informed decision be allowed to be taken by the person who opts for that technology. Otherwise, I think there could be virtually an uprising, so to say, against such technologies if they are making it a person's bank balance, a person's privacy, etc. All that is getting hit. And I think going forward, the technology makers as well as the regulators who ensure that the consumer gets a fair deal from the marketing companies as well as the technology promulgators are informed about it. Otherwise, they are certainly letting themselves in for such a vulnerability. Second point I would in this context want to make is that the regulator, or having a, probably I've talked about regulator, but once a report is made to whosoever is the agency monitoring it, whether it is the police or it is the regulator itself, the prompt action being taken on the complaints and severe action being imposed upon the ones who, if they are nabbed, would encourage people to go in for the technology. Otherwise, if this becomes more rampant, even if so far 28% of the survey said it, it can be popularizing it, can be endless.
And let me get J.G. Bhattacharya to quickly comment on that before I turn to our next big result. J.G. Bhattacharya, what do you make of this finding of the number of our respondents who actually say they've fallen prey themselves, which seems to be not as much as one would have expected?
Well, actually, 30% is really high. That's a lot of people we're talking about. And again, I'll take off from where Mr. Dua left. If you look at the targetable population, that's really high. In fact, if you ask me, I'm been targeted on a daily basis. I've got international numbers coming in, which I don't pick up. and almost half of my family has been targeted. So it's basically the middle class which is getting targeted, and 30% is really, really high. Imagine if there's a population of 800 million adults, and out of them, if
Yes,
30%
no,
get
absolutely.
impacted.
And I wonder, whether some of the respondents, have said yes, that they've been targeted, or whether they've, actually, the fewer people say that they've fallen prey to it, and it could possibly rise if people actually say they've just been targeted and not fallen prey. So then it could be perhaps more than 26%.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, I-
Yes, Jayjit, quickly.
No, I was just agreeing with that. A lot more people are getting targeted, but thanks to the program by the government, they're getting much more aware. So people falling for it has reduced, but the targeting has, I think, increased by the frequency of calls that we're getting.
Yes. Okay. So the targeting has increased, and thanks to more awareness, we hope people will actually not fall prey to these targets. But let's quickly now bring up our next big finding.